Hey everyone, Casualties Gaming coming at you today with another video. So, Azahar, just a few hours ago, I'm recording this around 9 p.m. Western Pacific time on the 29th of January, and they put out a statement a few hours ago addressing some things some changes they made a while ago that have made the emulation community not so happy. I think there's some good news in here. There's some other news that maybe won't be so great. Anyway, to the statement. After some initial discussions, we have decided to re-enable support for the .3ds extension, which was previously removed in Azahar's initial release. We previously made this change as a clear motion to distinct ourselves from the mass piracy that led to the closure of Yuzu and Citra. However, we have now determined that the changes cause more harm than good. Important note there: Citra was more of a casualty than anything else, just by virtue of the fact that Yuzu was shut down. That I would imagine most of the emulation community already knows that. Back to the statement, we've noticed that the removal of the 3DS extension has caused unnecessary fragmentation in the 3DS emulation community. This has led to the creation of dubiously safe forks, to which a portion of the Azahar user base migrated. These forks used unsafe deployment practices, presented licensing concerns, and confused users as to whether the forks were part of the upstream Azahar project. These circumstances created an unhealthy open source development environment, and we don't believe that this is in the best interest of the 3DS emulation scene. So I think this reason, just as much as anything else, is probably brought on this change. From what I have read and my understanding, the Azahar team is not super impressed with Azahar Plus. To be quite frank, just from what I've read in discords and subreddits and the like. I usually don't pay too much attention to the drama that goes on behind the scenes with these things if I can help it. The the emulation community can be really toxic when they want to be, and so I kind of try to steer clear of it. But I do know from what I've read that they're not very happy with some of the things that they have been doing. Uh, some debate on whether it directly promotes piracy and whatnot. I've never used Azahar Plus, but if you want to steer clear of that sort of thing, at least pinning a target on your back, I would say with that sort of thing. Maybe steer clear of it, maybe don't. I've not used it. That's just what I've heard about it. Anyway, to continue, given that the removal of the .3ds extension was originally an act of project philosophy rather than a technical change, we don't want this decision to overshadow the very real leaps which have been made in Azahar over the last year. Because of this, we have decided that it's for the best of everyone that we revert the change. It's important to note that the support for the encrypted ROM is still disabled, which is probably the part that some people are not going to be super happy about. This will not change for the foreseeable future. Unlike the .3ds extension, which is a matter of project philosophy, encrypted ROMs still present actual legal challenges that we do not want to take on. We hope that this change will help bring the 3DS emulation community closer together. So, from what I've read, again, I didn't use uh, the Azahar emulator before they implemented this change. In fact, I just got a Retroid Pocket 5, which I've been using Azahar on last fall, but I didn't use it before the change was implemented and whatnot, so it's not really been a concern of mine. From what I've read, most people were just renaming their files anyway and getting them to work. So I read that some people had issues with that, some people didn't. But that's basically what people were doing to circumvent it. Depending on how many files you had to rename, that could be a really big pain in the ass. But other than that, it was a pretty easy, like roundabout way to get around it. That is what it is. I think this is probably a better change for them. It, as far as whether or not it's going to bring people back from the other emulators that they've used, I really don't think so. They implemented this change a while ago, and people are creatures of habit. If they've gotten used to using something else, unless that gets shut down or stops getting updates, I don't know if they're going to move. But either way, maybe it won't frustrate people that are going to use it in the future. We will see. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know, this update. I'm sure some people will be thrilled to read it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff that us YouTubers ask you to do, and I will talk to you in the next video. Peace.